everybody, good morning, it's JPR, and welcome back to another video. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How in the world could a shiny hunting method possibly be bad? Don't all of them increase your chances of finding a shiny Pokemon? The answer is, well, okay, yeah, you're right. But that doesn't mean I can't hate some more than others, so I'm going to be giving my thoughts on all 14 different shiny hunting methods from the various generations of Pokemon. But before that, a word from the sponsor of today's video, Factor, who is now owned by HelloFresh. During this busy fall season, you can count on Factor for tasty and easy to prepare meals. Their menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and more than 33 add-on options. They offer everything from keto to calorie smart to vegan and more. Factor takes care of all the tough stuff so you don't have to. They have registered dietitians that work hand in hand with their kitchen to ensure that every meal is made from scratch with nutritious ingredients. So you know you're only getting all the best stuff. My personal favorite part of Factor is how fast you can prepare the meals, since everything is made ahead of time. All you gotta do is pop them in the microwave and they're ready to eat in as little as 2 minutes, so there's no need to go out for fast food or take a long trip to the grocery store. I also really like just stabbing the plastic, it's oddly satisfying. And right now you can try Factor using my link in the description and the code JPRPoketrainer50 for 50% off your first Factor box. And by doing it, you're not only getting great meals, but you're also supporting the channel. Thank you Factor for sponsoring today's video, let's get back to it. First off the top of my head, and I'm not ordering these in any specific way, just so you know, we have soft resetting. Basically, if you don't know, most handheld Pokemon games have a button combo that takes you back to the title screen so you don't have to completely turn off your Game Boy or DS. And on Switch, it's really simple, you just close and reopen the software. Now technically this is one of the only methods that doesn't actually increase your odds of finding a shiny Pokemon, but I'm including it anyway because it is the only way to get certain shiny Pokemon. Usually legendaries or other event Pokemon. But also starters if you want to start the game off with a special colored partner and not wait to unlock breeding. I'm gonna be real, I despise soft resetting. This instantly goes to the worst category for me. It is definitely the easiest method, but that almost isn't even a pro. It feels more brain dead than easy. And also, you get so into the habit of instantly resetting the game the moment you see the Pokemon, I know that somebody has accidentally soft reset on a shiny before. I know I haven't, but I guarantee it's happened to somebody, and that must be the worst pain imaginable. Also, I know soft resetting is perfectly safe for any console, but I always feel somewhat paranoid when doing it. Like my DS is gonna burst into flames after my 5,000th reset looking for shiny Totodile. Does anybody else have that fear, or is it just me? The one point soft resetting has going for it is you're most likely getting your highest value shinies out of this method, like legendaries who can only be obtained this way. But other than that, it's not fun, it's usually the most time consuming, I'm not a fan. Up next, one of my personal favorites, this method is basically how I got like my first 12 shinies, chain fishing from Gen 6. If you're not familiar with chain fishing, this was introduced in X and Y, and it involves consecutively fishing a Pokemon up over and over again. It doesn't have to be the same species of Pokemon, it can be anything, so long as you don't move from that spot. I can't remember if you're even able to open the menu, but I'm pretty sure you can't. You literally just have to fish without moving or doing anything else. Usually this process would never take longer than 2 hours for me, making it one of the consistently fastest shiny hunting methods. However, there are some slight downsides. As I mentioned before, more often than not you can't control which Pokemon gets fished up. So you might be hunting for a Relicanth that gets fished up 65% of the time, but you end up getting the 35% shiny Corsola instead. It stinks, but I'll be honest, it's still a shiny. So as long as you didn't already have that one, I'll still take it. There's also a very slight chance that you just won't hook a Pokemon at all, but there are ways to severely reduce that chance. If you fish up against a wall or a rock tile in the water, then your odds of hooking a Pokemon are much higher. And if your lead Pokemon has the ability Suction Cups, then that also increases the chances. And I believe these effects can stack as well. So you should be hooking a Pokemon at least 97% of the time. Which does make it all the more tilting when you don't hook a Pokemon and it breaks your chain. But I generally didn't run into this issue too much. You also have to time your reel in when you hook a Pokemon, but I honestly find this part kind of fun. It makes it a bit more skill intensive and not nearly as boring as some other methods. Unfortunately, Sun and Moon would ruin fishing forever, so we lost this method pretty quickly, but it was fun while it lasted. On that note, I want to discuss another Gen 6 exclusive method, Horde hunting, which I'm also assigning to the best category. Wow, this is like the most praise I've given to Gen 6 in a video, maybe ever. Horde hunting is great because the hordes are super easy to spawn. All you need is a Pokemon with sweet scent, and from there, it's easy. You will have to do some research to make sure the Pokemon you're hunting doesn't have any AoE moves like Explosion or Sludge Wave. I've seen far too many Golden Gravelers bite the dust in my time. Like chain fishing, the main drawback here is that you may not get the Pokemon you're looking for, but hey, a shiny is a shiny, as I always say. Unless it's this guy, he can go to hell. And like soft resetting, you're not actually boosting the rate of the shiny Pokemon, you're just encountering 5 Pokemon at once, so the process is a lot faster. But if you have the shiny charm already, this is a really effective method. Maybe not the most fun, but definitely the most easily accessible method that you can just do in the background. This was my favorite to do on live streams back in the day because I could just chill and read chat. I'm not sure why I wanted to, but you know, it was fun and I kinda miss it. Okay, so we've been getting way too positive and sentimental, it's time to get angry again. Let's discuss Outbreak hunting, which actually spans 2 games, albeit in slightly different ways. Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. I have no beef with Arceus, the only annoying part is that you can't really hunt a specific Pokemon. It's basically entirely RNG for which outbreaks appear, and very few of them show up at a time. So it's just not the most doable sometimes. But maybe that's for the best, because when you do find one of these outbreaks, you're almost guaranteed a shiny. The rates are crazy high. It's like a Pokemon Go community day out here. Scarlet and Violet's version of this is much worse than me purely because of the game's mechanics. In Arceus, you can just chuck a ball at the back of Pokemon's head and call it a day, whereas in Scarlet and Violet, you kind of have to awkwardly maneuver your Pokemon around using the Let's Go feature, and it's just a lot slower of a process. I guess this means you don't have to spend tons of money on Pokeballs, but that's the only upside. Scarlet and Violet also just has a ton of bad shinies that you can barely tell apart from regular ones, so the removal of the sound and stars effect just feels uncalled for. Some outbreaks are also just wildly annoying, like Varoom or Veluza or Tauros, where they're just constantly charging at you. See, in Arceus, the Pokemon would attack you, but it just seemed way easier to stay out of the turn-based battles and continue chucking balls. And if you don't want me chucking your balls, then you better subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying the video. It's free, and I won't have to say the previous sentence ever again, or at least I hope not. Up next, one of the OG methods, Masuda method, where you can breed Pokemon with 2 parents from different countries to have a higher shiny chance. This might be my first neutral pick of the video. I don't hate nor love this method. The 1 in 512 chance if you have everything optimized is pretty good, and unlike chaining, you don't have to work your way up to it, but the odds also never go up. So you can just get absurdly lucky and get a shiny early, or you might be grinding out the eggs for several days. It definitely feels the most hit and miss of all the shiny hunting methods for that reason. And even though they have drastically sped up how fast eggs hatch in Gen 9, the fact that we still can't skip the egg hatch animation just mildly ticks me off. Even Pokemon Go and Pokemon Masters let you skip the animation now. Why is this feature exclusive to side games? Anyway, it's fine, it's a neat idea at the very least, and unlike other methods, this one is probably never going away. We've had it for 6 straight gens now, which is a pretty good sign. Back to Gen 6 for a moment, specifically Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we have DexNav hunting. Honestly, aside from DexNav just being one of the greatest one-off features of all time, this one is just goated. If your search level for a Pokemon is maxed out and you have the shiny charm, it's like an instant 1 in 200 chance to get a shiny off the bat, which is absurd. Granted, that does require a lot of grinding to get there, but I don't think any chain method gives you better odds than this one. And this is also like the easiest way to get a shiny of your preference, because just by tapping that Pokemon sprite on the bottom screen, you are only hunting that Pokemon and that Pokemon alone. So as long as it appears in the wild, you can get it. Which at first, looking at the Hoenn Dex, that may not sound impressive, but remember, in the post-game, Pokemon from other regions appear all over the place. These routes have crazy amounts of diversity. Up next, we have catch combos from Let's Go, which is basically just you catch the same Pokemon a bunch of times, and then you literally just stand there. Menacingly! Yeah, this one's really boring actually, and it makes my arm tired, so I'm taking a point off for that. And since the next one is very similar, I'm gonna lump it in here with it. Repeated battling from Sword and Shield, and I'm pretty sure that's not even the actual name of it. I don't even think it has an official name, because it's literally just battling the same Pokemon over and over again, and the shiny becomes slightly more common for each milestone you hit. I think it caps at like 500 of the same species defeated. It's also really boring and not creative in the slightest. Kinda like Sword and Shield. So I'm not too into this one either. Although, Sword and Shield does have one method that I do absolutely love, and that's Dynamax Adventure Hunting. Basically just the shiny rate for Dynamax Adventures is off the charts, and Dynamax Adventures with your friends are already pretty fun as is. So it's kinda like getting a 2-for-1. Plus, this is probably the easiest way to get most legendaries as shiny, which is a huge plus. But stepping one generation back in time, we have SOS Hunting from Sun and Moon, and this one is actually kinda decent. It involves using an adrenaline orb to make a Pokemon perpetually call an ally for help. and those allies have a higher chance to be shiny the more you defeat them. Except sometimes the Pokemon is an absolute basement-dwelling loser with no friends, and you can just sit there for like 5 turns and nobody will show up to help them. It's equally infuriating as it is sad. Just watch out for Pokemon that have rivalries like Marini and Corsola because they'll start KOing each other, and you do have to be mindful to take out the original Pokemon from time to time before they start using Struggle and KO themselves. It's like a slightly more engaging version of Horde hunting from the start of this video, so I kinda liked it. Next we have the Poké-Radar, which appears in the Sinnoh and Kalos-based games. Kind of a weird combo, but we'll ignore it. I'll be real, this is like the one shiny hunting method that I have next to no experience with. I think I tried it once as a kid, never really got the hang of it, and so anytime a game has a Poké-Radar in it, I just don't use it. Also, on the Bulbapedia page, there's a lot of math and numbers, and I really don't feel like reading all that right now, so let's just call it neutral and move on. Friend Safari is next, and honestly, I don't even consider this a method. It's just a single area with boosted shiny rates. But I know some guy in the comments would be like, you forgot the Friend Safari but included Dynamax Adventures? How dare you? So, I hope you're happy now. Anyway, it's only 3 Pokemon per Safari. You don't really do anything other than run around the grass a bunch, but you can get some shiny starters without breeding or soft resetting, so it's officially mid. And last but not least, we have Sandwich Hunting from Scarlet and Violet, which is about as straightforward as it sounds. You make a sandwich, and God adds plus 50 luck to your existence. If you combine this with another method like Outbreak Hunting, getting a shiny is all but guaranteed. Certain sandwiches can boost both the shiny rates and the type of Pokemon you encounter, so if you have a specific Pokemon in mind, you can hunt it really easily. I made a sandwich that would only make Cyclizar spawn in that little area next to the desert, and I got my shiny in like 20 minutes. It was surprisingly effective. I think I like this method only because it adds value to the Herba Mystica you find in raid battles, so it's a really nice way of tying together multiple features in the game. If anything, making the sandwich and hoping nothing falls off is the only bad part, but aside from that, decent method. So let me know down below, what are your favorite and least favorite shiny hunting methods in Pokemon? But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys next time.